Right guys, I'm in Llandudno with no particular plan at all. So I thought I might try the Great Orme Tramway, see what that's like. It's been a few years since I went up the Great Orme, so I don't know much about it, how much it costs or anything really, but it's just down there and back up into town. So we're going to have a look, shall we, and let's see what we find. I'll see you in a bit. The Great Orme, I should explain, is the name of the prominent limestone headland that protrudes beyond Llandudno into the Irish Sea. The Great Orme Tramway starts in the town at the very smart Victoria Station. Now the ticket office is just on the left here, and yeah, you wander in, pay your money, and just wait for the next tram. And it wasn't long before it arrived. Tram number 4, Saint Tudno, who was the patron saint of Llandudno. There are 4 trams currently in service, all named after saints of North Wales, and they're all entirely original, dating back all the way to the line's opening in 1902. And that's pretty impressive, isn't it? And yeah, I think when you're bored, you really feel that sense of history all around you, from the brass handles on the doors to the wooden seats and window frames. And it's not long before we leave the station, where initially the tram runs along the street. No parking here, of course, at a gradient as steep as 26.1%, 1 in 3.8 in old money, that is. And we get fairly close to the walls along Old Road before reaching the passing loop at Tygwyn Road, where we meet tram number 5, St Cilio, heading back down. You will see here that as we continue upwards, the rails are interlaced rather than single track, and laid as grooved rails within the road surface. The cable that propels the tram is hidden in this section in a conduit between the rails, and each car is permanently attached to it, the funicular principle. Now this distinguishes the Great Orme Tramway, especially at this point, from other streetcar systems around the world, i.e. San Francisco, where the latter will attach and release itself from a continuously running cable instead. By the way, the views over Llandudno Bay here are fantastic, aren't they? We carried on upwards, running alongside the road. Each tram, by the way, will seat approximately 48 people, 2 on each wooden facing bench. They're not particularly comfortable, there's no padding, no tables, power supplies or Wi-Fi. But yeah, in all seriousness, I love the fact that these historic trams are preserved exactly as they were constructed. Though correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's any provision for wheelchair users or mobility scooters. Anyway, we were just approaching the halfway station now, and to be honest, when I looked at the map of the line, I just thought this was a place where, some people would get off and some would get on, and then we just continue up the hill. But no, the lower and upper sections are both independent of each other. So everyone has to get off here and walk through the station to the other end where the next tram is waiting. But it is quite interesting though, and you get to see what I presume are the workshops and the control room where the cable is, and there's lots of historic pictures on the walls as well. And I'll take you through there now so you can see what I mean, and then I'll see you again on the other side. Okay, so as you can see, it was a bit windier now, but we all got on board and we started on our way again towards the Summit Complex station. Now this second section is much more of a traditional funicular style railway, and it deviates from the road here, although the road's never that far away, and the line is laid on conventional sleepers and ballast. We cross St Tudno's Road, which is still called a level crossing when it's used by trams, before coming to another passing loop. This section was completed a year later in 1903, and it's certainly more remote here now that we've left the shelter on the eastern side of the hill. The Great Orme itself has a height of 207 metres, not particularly high, is it? But it's certainly quite exposed. Not many trees around, I thought, and the land that does surround the summit complex is predominantly farmland used for sheep grazing mainly, and it's all owned by the National Trust. Now we continue at a quite leisurely pace, to be honest. Certainly not the quickest way up the hill, is it? 8 kilometres an hour is the line's normal running speed. And then we reach the top. The total time taken to cover both sections at a distance of 1,500 metres, or 1 mile, it was about 17 minutes. Inside the summit complex itself is a bit of a visitor centre that tells you all about the geology of the area and the wildlife, etc. And yeah, it's worth a few minutes of your time, and it's also a welcome respite from the elements. And there are some other ways to get to the top. You can obviously drive, cycle or walk, and yeah, you may have noticed on the way up that there's a cable car too. Now unfortunately with that, it seems to shut even with the slightest bit of wind, and I found it expensive and pretty unreliable in the past. There is a bus stop here, served by Arriva currently, and yeah, that's another useful option to have. I paid £8.50 for an adult return on the tramway, which is okay I think for the price, as a bit of a one-off experience. I had to wander around a bit, trying to find a relatively sheltered spot in which to sum up my thoughts. There you go guys, Great Orme Summit, maybe way up here on the Great Orme Tramway, not too bad, £8.50 return. It's a tourist attraction, isn't it? And I'm going to spend a little bit of time up here. There's a cafe open, and I might just nip in there and get something to eat. And in the meantime, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll probably take some footage of the way down as well, why not? So enjoy that, and until next time guys, cheers for now.